I'll be open. Now you can get that on record. This, I cannot stand it.
But I thought you said
You think I'm joking? I can't stand it. Like, it's the most high maintenance, difficult hair. You know what they have to do?
No.
They have to get people to water it on photo shoots and on set, like it's a plant or something. I'm not kidding you. They water it. They have a little spray. I have those little, Evian.
Yeah.
They spray it to make sure that the curl stays a certain way.
But it's like your thing, though.
It is my thing.
Yeah. But are you gonna have?
I guess it's my thing. You know what I mean?
But are you gonna have like an epiphany where, like, or not epiphany, but like a change where, like, you know how Bieber had the thing, like his coif for like a while, and then all of a sudden it was like he cut his hair, and then he's been able to do.
The thing with cutting your hair is that it's such a shock. I think that because the less hair you have, the less you can do with your hair.
True.
I think I'm gonna do the reverse of what Justin did and probably just grow it longer.
But can you, like, or would it just be like a curly mop though? Like,
no, but what it does is it
just keeps going.
I would part it and I'd do the Robert Plant look. That's what I do, because you can't part it now. It's
right.
not down to the right length. It'll look stupid. But
you'd have like an 80s hairband thing.
Well, there you go.
It's true.
I'm already in an 80s hair metal fantasy in my mind. So
Francesco, welcome to the Kelly Alexander Show.
Right on. Thank you.
So first of all, how's everything going? Because last time you and I spoke, you were, busy. It seems like you're still busy.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite part of the job right now?
The fact that I can still do it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing takes away from the music for me. I'm always creating. I'm always doing it. Like right now, it's crazy because in my artist head, this EP is released, and I'm already trying to figure out what I'm gonna do next.
That's great, though.
So
that means you're still hungry, obviously.
I always like to move forward and do it.
Now, everyone talks about how you've worked with Pharrell, and I think the new single has Changed the Channel. Is that correct?
That is the Pharrell jam.
So how do you feel about that song? Because was it the first one you worked on it with him?
That was the very first song me and him ever did. Because he had this philosophy that, like, I wasn't a pop star by any means. He wanted me to the central focus was that I was that he thought when I put on the guitar there was a synergy going on there.
Okay.
And so it was very electric guitar based. We started talking about Led Zeppelin and all sorts of stuff like that. They're my favorite rock and roll group, so we blended R&B and rock and roll with that one, which is ultimately, my favorite type of styles.
Where do you find yourself on the spectrum, though? Like we talked about, you've got this rock part of you and obviously the R&B part. Like, where are you? Or do you not care? Like, you'll always be all over?
Well, this is the same thing, I think, and not in any way because I'm trying to say that I'm of the greatness level that he is. But this is the same dilemma you find yourself in when describing Prince. Mm-hmm. What really is he? Is he because he's an R&B balladeer, he does that really well. Mm-hmm. He's a straight up rock and roller, he does that very well. Mm-hmm. He does the bridge of the two really well. So I think that's just a case of me ultimately doing it's just me doing music. Mm-hmm. I think though if I had to describe the style, it usually is a synthesis of modern production and like the older style of songwriting.
Now, we know you play guitar. I don't know if you play any other instruments, though. And do you have an inclination to want to play other instruments, like to help you along in your artistic career?
I actually started playing piano first.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
And I thought it was very good that I started to play piano first because I remember one of my music teachers told me if you learn that, you can pretty much learn all the other instruments. And what I found was that it's true.
Okay.
As soon as I learned piano, for some reason, the other instruments they were easier to play. I guess it warms up your fingers or something like that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, piano, guitar, and bass I can fumble my way through because I play guitar. Although I'm not as good as Alex St. Kitts, my bass player. He's magician with that stuff. And the drums now.
Good for you.
The most recent one is the harmonica. I'm a big fan of the harmonica now because that's something you can't really teach someone how to play the harmonica. Mm-hmm. So it's a feel thing. Okay.
Now, when it comes to the songs, like, on the station I work for, we play Better to Be Loved. We playing the mess out of Call, which I think is like, that's my favorite song right now. Do you have a favorite? Like, because I know they're all your babies, but like, do any of them stick out like that you would play for the rest of your life and never be upset to play it?
Because it's new and because of just that there's certain colors in the song. There's a song called Something Different, which
Okay.
is the the newest one, and it's one that I 100% wrote and produced myself.
Mm-hmm.
And there was just something about me being in the basement and producing it in that moment. That was a serious moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, there's just something about it. But then it's like Change the Channel is another one too that I could speak to that for, as well as Honey I'm Home. It's always weird to, because when you see the public's favorite song and then the artist's favorite song, it's usually the totally opposite. So
True. I find a lot of artists like album tracks.
yeah, so because what they like about it isn't the same as what the public likes about songs. The public likes songs that are pump up so you can jam to them, or something like that. Or we are into some musical chord that no one really even knows exists in the track. So
now, what concert? Because obviously the concerts are continuing all the time. I just actually went to the Janet Jackson concert in Toronto a couple days ago.
Oh, how was that?
She was amazing. I really hope you can go see her because she is fantastic. And I wanted to ask you, what concert has been your favorite in the last year? Because obviously you're playing with a lot of artists, but is there a concert like you specifically went out to see where you didn't have to work and just got to listen and enjoy?
Oh, there's a couple of them. I mean, it depends on what type of art, like of current artists that are out, or just of in general.
Whatever struck you that made you actually want to go pick up your guitar that night and like tinker around.
What do I think? I'm trying to think. Probably someone like a Bruce Springsteen.
Okay.
I saw Bruce Springsteen play, and he played for 4 hours and didn't stop.
Wow.
But didn't stop between songs. It was straight up 4 hours of him playing all of his material. And I thought to myself, how do you do that? How do you not get tired? And I thought to myself, he does that every night.
Yeah.
So
and he's like whatever age, right?
And he's whatever age.
Yeah.
So there's a living legend there. So I thought to myself, how do we get to that? That one was another crazy one. Another crazy one was seeing Bruno Mars.
Okay.
Because Bruno Mars hit every note and didn't rely on much else. And the show is unbelievable too. Like the guy is dancing for 2 hours and singing straight. Something like Michael Jackson. He's dancing and singing. That's not an easy thing to do.
No.
And the band is incredible. That's all in all a good show as well.
Now, where do you want to see yourself in like a year? Because like it seems like things have been really progressing. You're always busy. I follow you on social media. You always have something up. And I know this summer you've been playing at a lot of dates with other Canadian artists. Like I've seen you with was it like Sean Hook and I think maybe Rhea May and all that sort of stuff. So it just seems like there's no stopping you.
Well, I hope to do it just keep going up the levels and hopefully it reaches more people. Ultimately is to be happy. Because of all the things that one has to do when they start doing music. You start doing music in your basement or something that someone really likes, and then 1,000 people really like it, and then 10,000 people really like it. A lot of stuff comes into the picture, and you can end up losing yourself in that. I just hope to continue to have a clear mind doing music, playing for as much people as possible, and just to be happy.
Have you found that, Francesco, that as you're sort of progressing, that like more noise is getting in the way a little bit? Like, is it hard for you to sort of push that out of the way and focus on what you need to do?
Well, I was fortunate enough to meet the guy of all guys, Paul McCartney.
Okay.
And he told me two things. One's pretty funny and one is pretty deep. One is that you gotta look around here. You see it's beautiful, right? But it's just noise, man. It's just music after all, man. Because I asked him, how did you do that in the days with the Beatles? Like, what really happened there? And he goes, I can't tell you, man. We just kind of went up there and played a couple songs, and that was it. So,
wow.
Which means that the reason why that was so that their vibes were so infectious. That's what he was saying. They because they didn't think too much of it.
Right.
They went up and put themselves into it and had a good time. But he said there's two things. There's noise in the world and there's music. There's a lot of noise. There's outside traffic, a lot of noise. But if you can hear the music throughout all that noise, you'll be good.
Fantastic.
Completely freaked me out.
That's pretty cool. You got to meet Paul McCartney. Actually, that's really good.
It's crazy.
Last question. Actually, who would you love to collaborate with? I know you've already done the Pharrell thing, but like, is there someone right now that you're like, boom, I'd love to get on a song with, like The Weeknd or one of these dudes?
That color, the Weeknd's really good color pal. I like the production stuff. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I think we would have a good long talk about that. Also, just to meet him, because of he is who he is. Someone like Prince.
Yes. Have you been to a Prince concert? Because I actually went this summer.
I went to the Prince. There's another
nuts?
one I forgot to include in the other question. That was one, let me tell you.
Isn't it crazy?
It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. In my whole life. Because he came on, and our seats were further back, but I was with my tour manager, and she actually was able to get us in front row.
Wow.
So he starts off with "Let's Go Crazy" and all of that, but then it pans into him. He did like a guitar solo for 45 minutes.
I know, right?
He does that. He just goes up and does whatever he wants. However, when he went back and did all the stuff like Raspberry Beret and that stuff, everyone was loving it and just freaking out. But he's a strange guy. I think there was a point in the show where he was playing his guitar and he looked at me and he did me one of these.
Nice.
To which point I'm like, there you go. What's all that about? But he is fantastic. He's one of my biggest musical influences.
That's amazing. And you ever notice, like, I felt when I went to that concert, because I'd never seen him before in concert, I felt like I was brought to church. Like, I felt like I was truly brought to like musical church with this guy.
Well, if you notice him, he's a bit of a strange cat. He doesn't like the phones.
Right.
So he made everyone kind of take away the phones. Mm-hmm. And there's also a thing about him where he's so smart. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He's a marketing genius. Like he played the most obscure set. Yeah. But then said at the end, you guys are going to remember this for the rest of your life. Yeah. And it's like, sure. Sure. we are kind of going to remember this for the rest of our life. It's like, it's a strange set. You kind of soloed on the guitar for 45 minutes, then played Raspberry Beret, then went back to soloing for 45 minutes. So yeah, we kind of will do it. So he almost does these sneaky little things on purpose because he knows that people will freak out because he's Prince. Mm-hmm. That type of smartness, though, I can appreciate the brains involved as well as the musicality.
Do you get tired of people telling you that you have an old soul? Because you totally do. And you're super chill, which I love. I love that you're like 20 years old and you're like super chill. And yeah, like it's amazing.
I'll tell you this. There was a point where I thought as though, you know what, I have to dumb down my music. I thought to myself, it was a bad thought. I had to dumb down my music because no one was going to understand it. Mm-hmm. But then, you talk to people. I was talking to my buddy who's also, in music. And he was like, no, man, you can't do that. Mm-hmm. I think it was 40. It was 40 that who's part of Drake's camp, who produces a lot of that sound, that R&B stuff, and the hip hop stuff. And he said, listen, I made it I'm wearing the same t-shirt now as I made it as when I didn't make it. You know what I mean? Nice. You just have to stay the course. Mm-hmm. So I think for me, I just got to stay the course. Awesome. Well, we love you and thank you for being on the show. Thank you. Francesco Yates on the Kelly Alexander Show.